Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging
Heavy anticipation and huge excitement are what characterizes the third home game of the ABRA Weavers here inside the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym as they look to defend their home floor against the Valenzuela Classic after successfully defending it against the Rizal Golden Coolers and the Iloilo United Royals in their first two encounters here in this venue. Marquee will be going up against Mark Montuano in our player matchup. That's going to be an interesting story for us to uncover because Mark Montuano and Marky were actually teammates last year for the Bacoor City Strikers, runners-up to our eventual champions, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Maimbag nga rabi sa inyong lahat. Magandang gabi sa lahat na nanonood on MPTV Channel 98 on Signal, Satellite Channel 53 on the Pilipinas Live app, as well as on our Facebook and YouTube channels. This is Javi Palanya alongside Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, among the home games of the Abra Weavers, isa na siguro ito sa pinakamatinding inaabangan other than that first game that they had against the Rizal Golden Coolers. What are the things to watch out for the Weavers here against the Valenzuela Classic? Alam naman natin itong Valenzuela, they're still trying to get into the playoff picture in the Northern Division.
That's right. And, you know, you want to watch out for what they're good at, speaking of Valenzuela, and where they're weak at and supposed to exploit them. They're really strong when it comes to points off turnovers, and they have volume free field goal makes, and you have to watch out for that. You got to defend. Kung ikaw ang Abra, you have to be very efficient. Don't allow them to turn the ball over and turn it into points. At the same time, you want to exploit the rebounds because that's one weak area on the stat line of Valenzuela. So you got to grab those rebounds and turn them to your favor.
Oh, talking about their defense, it has been at a high so far in their past few games. They're on a 4-game winning streak right now. Tingnan natin ang lagay na panahon sa ating North Division team standings where Abra is at number 6 while Valenzuela trying to creep into the top 8 at number 9.
I'll tell you what, where Abra is, they have 7 games remaining. After this game today with Valenzuela, they're going to get 3 teams that's really tough. Zamboanga, Pampanga, and Nueva Ecija. Those are the top 3 teams right now. They'll also be getting Parañaque. And so if they sweep all the remaining 7 games, they should up in the number 4 spot with 21-7. However, if they lose, they'll be 17-11, enough for them to get to number 8. Samantalang dito sa Valenzuela, simply said they gotta win all the games that they had to at least make it to number 8.
Well, this is going to be a very important game para sa parehong kupunan. Narinig nyo na ang mga implications sa laro na to, especially for Valenzuela and Abra. Let's talk about the last game of the Classic. It was a victory para sa kanila, but a tight one. A game that was played with playoff intensity and competitiveness. That was a 76-73 victory against the Rizal Golden Coolers.
As a matter of fact, that game was so intense. 11 ties, 13 lead changes, and no one leading more than by 6 points. You know, they were catching up and trailing after the first quarter, the half, 3 quarters. Really just Montuano scoring 15 points and Baguio scoring 11. They had good shooting percentage though at 47%. They controlled the paint, triggered the fast break, and the support of the bench has really been good. A plus 18 points in the paints, plus 11 fast break points, and plus 14 in the bench point stat.
It's very good to hear that Cyrus Baguio is now starting to get more comfortable here with the Valenzuela Classic. He joined the team midway through the season, but I think that was his best game of the year para sa kanilang kupunan. So that's going to be good moving forward para sa kanila, especially as they try to snatch a playoff spot in the Northern Division. The last game of the Abra Weavers was against the Muntinlupa Cagers. They have been very dominant in this 4-game winning streak of theirs. That was non-different here against Muntinlupa at the Calasaw Sports Complex.
Well, as a matter of fact, they were so dominant that they led by as much as 32 points on that way to that victory. Manso had 12, Will Kian Lee had 11, as well as RV Bringas. Both of them had 11 points. And excellent field goal makes, 51%. Whew, that's pretty high. And they were dominant control on the boards, plus 17 on rebounds, plus 24 points in the paints, which led to 18 more fast break points for Team Abra.
Particularly for Will Lee, that should be a good springboard for him to
Yeah.
perform well here in front of his kababayans dito sa Abra as they take on the Valenzuela Classic. Pero para sa ating player matchup, we have 2 former Bacoor City Strikers, 2 former teammates last year. At isang maganda pang kwento dyan, si Mark Montuano, he played for Abra early in the season.
Right. And alam mo itong dalawang ito, let's speak of Montuano first. He's primarily a post-up guy, willing to score and get those rebounds, no? But when you look at the side of Marquis, he really picks his spots, takes, shots when it's free, stays as a big man rebounding, and distributes the ball from the top. And this is why, for most of the stats, it's Marquis that's leading over Mark Montuano. It's really just, I guess, more role on the side of Marquis than it is on the side of Mark Montuano.
We are going to hear from the both of them as Andrea and Disho are with Mark Montano and Marky at courtside.
That is right, Javi. Kasama ko nga ngayon ang dalawang Mark ng magkabilang koponan na si Mark Montuano ng Valenzuela at Mark Yee ng Abra. Unahin ko namang kausapin si Mark ng Valenzuela. Mark, I know pamilyar ka sa iyong makakatapatan ngayong gabi because you were teammates before para sa Bacoor last season. And with that being said, paano nga ba tapatan ang iyong tinatawag na Kuya Mark?
Si Kuya Mark, pag nakalaban mo yan, dapat palagi kang ready. Hindi ka pwede yung pabanjing-banjing kasi talagang sobrang ang laro ni Kuya Mark physical game yan, tsaka mind game yan eh. So dapat every time na makakalaban mo siya, ready yung katawan mo, pati yung isip mo. Tsaka sa loob lang naman ng court, pagkadating naman sa labas, kaibigan na ulit si Kuya Mark.
Well, napakaganda naman nun at ang masasabi ko lang sa'yo is good luck to you and your team. Dumako naman tayo sa aking kanan. Mark Yee, alam naman natin na itong Valenzuela gusto nilang makapasok sa playoff. So ano bang klase ng performance ang inaasahan mo mula sa kanila ngayong gabi?
Hindi, ayun nga, talagang ibubuhos din nila lahat kasi nga nag-aabol din sila sa playoff spots and then sa amin din, kailangan din namin talagang doblein yung effort kasi nga yun din, hindi po kami pwede magkumpiyansa kasi wala pang kasiguraduhan kung anong number ka sa playoffs.
Mark, perfect pa rin ang record ninyo dito sa inyong home court. And with that being said, ano bang masasabi mo sa lahat ng Abreños na sumusuporta sa inyo ngayong gabi?
Siyempre, unang-una, kaya naging perfect na naman ang record namin dito dahil nga sa biyaya ni Daddy God and then sa suporta po lahat ng taga-Abra, lalo na kay Kong Mayor JB Bernos, sa lahat ng taga-Abra. Maraming salamat po. Huwag po kayong magsawang sumuporta sa team namin, lalo na sa MPBL po. Maraming salamat po. God bless.
Alright, thank you so much. Good luck to you and your team as well, mga kaliga, for the culmination of another MPBL week. This is Valenzuela versus Abra. Miguel Pire, take it away.
Happy weekend, mga kaliga, and we are welcoming you once again here at the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym. Tonight's main game features Valenzuela Classic versus your Abra Weavers. This is the 2024 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 6 presented by Extreme. Time to meet our starters. First, for Valenzuela Classic, Dynacast. Starting at guard, number 3, Darrell Mandiguez. Forward number 32, Mike De Los Santos. Also at forward number 24, Dennis Santos. To guard number 0, Paulo Hubalde. And at center number 10, Mark Montuano. The Valenzuela Classic Dynacast is led by the team owner known as the Coach Grisman. Valenzuela City 2nd District Honorable Congressman Eric Martinez. Assistant coaches Aldrin Morante, Jolly Alar, and J.R. Villanueva. Team consultant is Mr. Cool Jerry Esplana. Assistant team manager is J.B. Garcia. Team manager is Errol Francisco. Co-team owner is Voltaire Ora. And now, mga kaliga, get on your feet because it's time to meet the starting unit of your Abra Weavers. Starting at forward number 6, and Neil Geyser Tolentino. Center number 30, Alfred Batino. Power forward number 14, Mike Cañete. To guard number 33, Paul Desiderio. And at one guard number 8, Roy Sumang. The head coach for your Abra Weavers is Yong Garcia. Assistant coaches Tenok Miranda, Jonathan Banal, Don Uro, and Mon Meresen. Team governor is attorney Russell Bragas. Team owner is Kong Mayor JB Bernos. Referees for this ball game are crew chief Julius Sikyo, umpire 1 Jason Mabandos.
Our primary protagonists for this game between Valenzuela and Abra. This is brought to you by SportsMax, powered by PlayMax, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL. Win to the max. Darrell Manliguez and Paulo Hubalde in the backcourt, joined by Mark Montuano and Mike De Los Santos, plus Dennis Santos in the front court for the Valenzuela Classic. On the other side, the Abra Weavers, the home squad, will be beginning with Neil Tolentino, Mike Cañete, Alfred Batino, Paul Desiderio, and Roy Suma. We welcome you to the main event of our Saturday triple header here in the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. We are live from the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym, the University of Benguet campus in Abra. Tavi Palanya on the call, joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Andrea Endicio at courtside. Now, Coach Mike, you talked about the defense for the Weavers here to start this game. At the top of our coverage, those are one of the things that you've mentioned that they should be able to establish early on here against Valenzuela.
Well, it's no joke that they allow only almost 69 points per game sa mga nakakalaban nila. And we've seen it in the past 2-3 games that they've played. That defense has actually leveled up significantly para dito sa Abra Weavers. I mean, they defend the 94 feet of the floor. And even on the half-court set, they make it difficult for you to execute anything. And the thing is, pag nagkamali ka, points of turnovers, iiskoran kanila.
That's the influence brought by Coach Yong Garcia to this squad, taking over from Coach Tantan Banal a few games into this season. They had to find a way to make this strong group of players work. It was such a star-studded roster to begin things, and they even amped it up with new additions, but they had to change some things. Of course, the most notable of those changes for me was the one-on-one trade between Jun Manzo and Mac Talio.
That's right. And, you know, those are just some of the changes. I mean, you had Clint Escamis and Recto playing, and you lost those guys to SGL. Oh, boy, Paul Desiderio starting it off with that three.
Cañete gets to the offensive rebound and puts the Weavers on the board for their first field goal of the game. Desiderio was able to knock down one free throw earlier.
And we talked about it, Javi. You got to be mindful of what they're strong at and exploit where they're weak at. Rebounds is 41.2 only para dito sa Valenzuela. You got to exploit that and make it a factor to your side.
Dennis Santos missing on his first attempt. That's one guy that they have to be able to control dito sa ating laro. As Neil Tolentino gets a basket on that finger roll. A crowd favorite definitely here. Ito si Neil Tolentino.
Now, one thing that Valenzuela needs to do right now, they need to settle down, try and silence this crowd, get a really good execution, then stop it on the other way once you get a conversion.
Enliguez almost had that pass taken away. He's able to recover. Montuano, a short jumper. That's good.
And that's what we were talking about, Mark Montuano. I mean, he is primarily a scorer para dito sa Valenzuela. Sure, he plays defense on 1 and 2, but he's more expected to be scoring and rebounding for Valenzuela.
He was an all-star previously with the Bacoor City Strikers a couple of seasons ago. The classic get the steal here. The 3-on-1 break. Santos will take it all the way.
And Santos is not going to give it up. He understands that he's got that height and speed advantage, that length of the floor, and you got to finish and invite that contact coming in.
Dennis Santos was scoreless against Rizal. Coach only played close to 8 minutes in that game against the Golden Coolers.
Yeah, and he's normally good for about 12 points and 5 rebounds per game. And he shoots pretty well from the perimeter, about 54%.
Well, of course, Dennis Santos has been battling back spasms the previous weeks. This is the fast break of the game, brought to you by SportsMax, powered by PlayMax, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL. Win to the max, but for this game, he looks good, while Alfred Batino also looking good there para sa Abra Weavers, scoring inside for his first bucket of the game.
I said this in one of the games that I covered Team Abra. I'm very sure a lot of the teams are looking at Abra. This is a different version of Abra Weavers we're seeing. Up defense again. Could have been another opportunity for points of turnovers. And somehow you feel, Javi, you and I are both here, nararamdaman mo yung energy ng depensa ng Abra, you know?
They're making a huge effort in trying to really get into the passing lanes. That's a good find from the baseline by Roy Sumang to Alfred Batino. And here they get the stop. Sumang is off and running. He has Desiderio on the left, Tolentino on the right, but he'll take it anyway and gets fouled. That's a block laban dito kay Paolo Hubalde, to his utter dismay and frustration.
Well, Paolo did all he could on a momentum-driven Roy Suma. He was going downhill, and that's all that Paolo could do. He was already airborne, didn't want to commit.
Was Paulo able to establish position? Didn't really see from that replay.
Well, it sure looked like he was there first. You know, but the referee saw it otherwise.
But I think Hubalde was in the no-charge zone.
Yeah.
That's why the block was called against him. There you see Super Sumang's averages this season. Quite underwhelming for a guy of his caliber.
Right.
But Sumang has taken on a different role here for the Weavers. Maybe equally as important as when his days before, when he was the primary option for the teams that he played in, especially in college for the UE Red Warriors. I say that because he's now looked upon to be that vocal leader para dito sa kapunan ng Abra.
Yeah, and I guess there's a certain level of maturity already on the Roy Sumang. He's not forcing anything, you know, he's just trying to get in the flow of the schemes of Coach Yong, and understanding that this is going to be a collective effort by the entire Abra Weavers organization and team.
9-6. Mahigit 3 minuto na nakakalipas dito sa ating unang yugto. Cañete gets the step on De Los Santos.
You gotta give credit for Tolentino to try and space out that left side of the floor. Didn't allow that help to come in, and so Cañete had that lane to finish.
And Santos, quick move to the right, behind the back, fall away jumper, in, out, back in again.
Boy, if Denny Santos is gonna be KD-like tonight, this is gonna be a good one para dito sa Valenzuela.
Santos is the leading scorer this season for the Valenzuela Classic, coming on over from the 3x3 circuit to come back here to the MPBL. Batino trying to muscle his way into that basket. That's good defense for the Classic. 3-on-2 in favor of Valenzuela. Santos spots for 3. Wala yan. 3 white shirts unable to get it. Roy Sumang eventually getting that rebound. Spins against Manligues. Tolentino, the drop step. Left that short. Tried to give a pass to Batino, but here comes Manligues again. Tried to go between the legs of Mike Cañete. Ooh, this is not good. Paulo Hubalde is down on the floor together with 2 other players from the Abra Weavers. Well, Batino and Tolentino have already come up, but Hubalde was slow to get off the ground, trying to shake that one off.
Yeah, and the mere fact that you've got 4 players down there on the floor just shows you the effort these guys are actually playing in the want to get a win coming out of tonight's game. Ooh, that was tough.
Yeah, Batino fell on that ankle by Paulo Hubalde.
And Paulo's a vital piece in the rotation of Valenzuela, and so, you know, you got to be careful.
He just shakes off the paint. Back in action here with the basketball against Ino Comboy. Nakakapasok lang along with John Lloyd Clemente. That's a 3-second violation against Mike De Los Santos.
Well, Mike was supposed to stay on that weak side dunker spot to allow Paulo Hubalde to create, or any initiator of the offense to create for that matter. And so siguro he was thinking that drive na. Yeah, he got called and stayed in there and caught watching the paint dry.
Manligues is guarding Sumang. Cañete sets the pick for Roy. Sumang from the outside, that's short. Comboy ends up with it. Pulls it back out. 10 on the shot clock. The fake there by Cañete. Leans in for another finger roll.
Mike Cañete, when he played for Bacoor, really was the primary scorer that they looked up to. Marquis was there, and right now he's a little bit more stable compared to how he was in Bacoor. He was good in Bacoor, but he's so much better here in Abra.
Roy Sumang continues to make sure that Abra as a whole becomes better as this game goes by. Very important that they get this victory on their home floor. You know how important that this game is in terms of playoff implications, and they want to make sure that they get a hold of a top spot in the Northern Division.
Well, so far both teams have been shooting very well, roughly about 57% each, and you'd like to keep that going whether you're Valenzuela or you're Abra.
4 minutes and 33 remaining in quarter number 1. We'll take a short break. There you see team owner of the Abra Weavers, Congressman Mayor J.B. Bernos and Congresswoman Ching Bernos watching in the venue. And this is Riley. Say hi to the camera, Riley.
Say hi. That's my son, Riley, right there.
The Abreños were heavily anticipating this matchup against the Valenzuela Classic. Not just because of how strong Valenzuela has been this season, as you take a look at Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes, joined by Boss Emer Oreta and Boss Rudy Distrito, our MPBL leadership, but also because of the implications of this game,
Yes,
Coach Mike.
that's right. And the importance of this game for both these teams. Valenzuela's gonna need all their remaining games so that at least they get to number 8. Samantalang itong Abra, you want to get home court advantage. Try win as many games as you can. Lalo na you go up against Nueva Ecija, Zamboanga, and Pampanga. And that's going to be a tough run. And those 3 games in succession.
Manligues forces it up. Doesn't get the bounce. Cañete with the board. Mike gets it on the trail. Charges into a sliding Mark Montuano. But that's going to be a block laban sa kanya.
O, naging magkakampi yan, di ba? Si Cañete at saka si Mark Montuano. Naintindihan ni Mark, pag nakatanggap to sa labas si Mike, kaya niyang bumaril sa labas, tumira at make a basket. But, you know, you have to be in there defending and on the grill against Mike.
Pero Coach, anong nangyari kasi dyan sa kanila last year? As Clemente gets a great pass from Cano Caballero. Ito si Cañete at saka si Marky, they came in at nagawa nila ng playing time ito si Mark Montuano.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why, you know, this could be a game wherein Mark Montuano has more motivation to perform well. As well as the fact that he did start the season with the Abra Weavers.
Yeah.
That pass, too strong there para kay JLC.
Yeah, and then Caballero actually had the right thing in mind to try to spread that floor.
This is the play of the game brought to you by Suzuki. Cano Caballero has done a wonderful job. Sometimes starting, sometimes off the bench in that point guard spot para kay Coach Yong Garcia.
And this philosophy of Coach Yong Garcia is really, I guess, to my observation, really very concept-based. I mean, it's not a structured, ito dapat step 1 sequential plays. It's really understanding, if you do this, this is how I would react on the weak side.
Rivog Sang has come on here para sa Valenzuela Classic, as well as Kairos Baguio and Carl Brian Lakap.
That's our matchup right there.
Montuano gets the better of this one against Marky.
And why not? You know, you've got the heft to try and get to that spot on the floor. You got to do that.
Montuano now has 4 points in the game. Marky still scoreless. He sets the screen here for Ino Comboy. Comboy, no look to JLC. Sorry, miss by John Lloyd Clemente.
What a pass.
Comboy this time behind the back. Step back jumper, wala. Well, you know, Coach, I've known Ino for quite some time now. And even before, he has always had a flair in the things that he does on the floor.
Yeah. And anyway, it just comes naturally. I mean, you get in the flow of the game. You understand where you're at. And you see where your teammates are. I mean, see, Comboy also has really good shots from the outside. After all, he's a 33% three-point shooter, and so you have to know where he is.
Alam mo, Coach, yan si Comboy, walk-in tryout lang yan.
Talaga?
Oo. Hindi naman yan recruited sa amin.
Wow.
But he was able to work hard, eventually make a name for himself. Going to the seniors division, still playing for FEU. Went on over to the PBA, and now he's one of the biggest names here in the MPBL, playing for the Abra Weavers.
Well, talk about earning your stripes. If you're Comboy, you know that's just an inspiration to the other guys who want to take that path that he took.
Marky got fouled there. That's why he's at the line for 2 free throws. Let's go to Miss Andrea Andicio.
Coach Young Garcia shared that they had good preparation for this game. He knows that this Valenzuela team has enough talent like a volcano waiting to erupt, and they definitely can't put their perfect record at home on the line. Maganda raw ang pinakita ng kanyang mga wingmen ensayo pa lang, to which he hopes to translate in this game. Going back when he entered this ABRA team, the goal was to increase the team's conditioning for them to sustain high-intensity play for the whole 40 minutes. Now for him, they are at 80%, and the goal is to reach 100 before the playoffs. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Well, they definitely are looking much better right now. That's why the intensity has gone up in terms of the defense, especially para dito sa kanilang koponan. Manliguez forced that one up. I think he was going for a pass to Rivog Sang, and he noticed that the defense was right there with him.
But, you know, both ends, really good action there by Valenzuela. First off, it was Ladis Lepalam taking advantage of that length on that post pass intended for Undo. Then again, on the other end, just streaking downhill and trying to get an attempt.
Now you expect a different kind of pace here with Andre Armenion checking into the game for the Valenzuela Classic.
Oh, yeah. This is going to improve a lot on the looks because he primarily is a guy that loves to feed off guys.
Pocket pass to Rivog Sang, hangs in the air. Also a former ABRA Weaver.
Yeah.
Could not get that shot to go. Ino Comboy to the left side. JLC. To the baseline they go to Marquis. He still with the basketball, waiting for something to develop here. He hands it off to Comboy. Ino for three. Wala. GP Faundo was held down there by Rivog Sang.
And you have to be amazed at how offensively ABRA has been executing. No rattles, no, lahat pretty much set up and waiting for whichever part of the clock the defense would come in late.
Faundo gets the first free throw to drop, only a 58.1% free throw shooter this year. It was a GP Faundo, same average in terms of points and rebounds.
And he's good for roughly about, 5 points, 5 rebounds per game. And shoots 45% from the field.
1 minute and 15 seconds still remaining here in the first quarter. Sa dami na nangyari, akala ko second quarter na.
Sa dami, no?
Armenion pulls up near the free throw line. Wala. Lepalam able to get to it first. But he runs out of space underneath.
And Lepalam is going to be a key piece on the rebounding part of Valenzuela, because you understand there are a lot of rebounders here on the side of ABRA Weavers.
Lepalam only had 3 rebounds last game against Rizal. He switches on to Caballero here, a former Golden Cooler. Faundo had last touch on the basketball. That was good defense from Skyrus Baguio.
Yeah, tama yung ginawa ni Keanu, pero sumobrang taas ng pasa.
Armenion calling out the play here in the half court for the guys in white and red. Lock up on top against an equally potent scorer in John Lloyd Clemente. Lock up loses it as he tried to get away from the defense of Yi and JLC.
Yeah, and you see Marquis talking to Caballero. We got to set up a real better offensively on the other end. Let's not turn it over anymore.
About 3 to 4 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Cano Caballero able to get inside, just a foot outside that shaded area. But here comes Marquis now on top against De Los Santos.
Oh,
Marquis creates separation and knocks it down. Armenion from the half line. That's going to be way off the mark. And Marquis delivering a clutch basket to beat the buzzer there. Vintage Marquis.
And there is a reason why Marquis is here. Apart from the leadership, it's what he brings offensively and defensively. And, you know, this high-octane ABRA Weavers we're seeing right now is so much different from how they started the season. I mean, offensive rebounds right now, they're controlling that. And so they're getting, 7 more second chance points against nothing on the side of Valenzuela.
Also shooting 7 out of 15 from the field are the ABRA Weavers in that first quarter, compared to just 38% for the Valenzuela Classic. Head coach Andrea mentioned in her report earlier that conditioning was the problem for Coach Yong Garcia when he came into the team. Well, right now, they're looking pretty good as they're up by 12 at the end of one, 22-10. Our first quarter score brought to you by GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. Presenting our Suzuki muscular and sporty fans of the game, just like the Avenus, do more and achieve more with the muscular and sporty scooter from Suzuki. The Avenus, oras na para magmotor. We welcome you back to the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym here in the University of Benguet campus in Abra. Take a look at Kong Mayor J.B. Bernos, joined by Congresswoman Ching Bernos, the VIPs here in the venue, watching this game between Abra and Valenzuela. You also saw DSWD Undersecretary Dr. Bernos Bragas. Second quarter now underway. This is Javi Palanya joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Andrea Indicio.
Well, so far, the story of that first quarter has been better conversions for Abra Weavers, 50% versus that of only 33 para dito sa Valenzuela. And, 8 trips to the line against none para dito sa Valenzuela. And the rebounds, offensive rebounds, it was a +6, 0 on the side of Valenzuela. And so they got 8 second chance points out of it.
This is a very odd number, Coach. That just states the fact how well Abra has been keeping Valenzuela off the boards in the first quarter. The Classic only had 3 rebounds in the first 10 minutes.
That's right. And you've got guys that's actually controlling the boards and giving it up to guards to push that pace, just like this one right here. They missed it, but that was a good run for the Weavers.
Armenion
Wow.
up and under the step through, just short on the finger roll. Guy is down. That's Mark Yee.
And it's quickly back up.
It doesn't really take long for him to get up. Hindi naman yata ganun kalakas yung naging tama sa kanya doon.
So, ibang klase yung footwork na pinakita na yun ni Armenion. Really just didn't get that ball to roll. They are getting their attempts, but it's really just the conversions. And, gotta get to the line all the more.
16-4 is our rebounding story in this game. Huge disparity in that department. Comboy opting to post up Carl Brian Lakap. Ball is out. Still with Ino. Comboy to the center. Mark Yee for 3.
That right there, Javi, is a two-headed monster for 3. You get a Comboy of a elevator screen to set up for a 3. Then you bring in Marquis for a 2-man game. Marquis slips. Either way, you're going to get a 3.
This 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. There you see Marquis didn't really have his feet set well, Coach.
But it just boils down to confidence. The many times that you've done that in practice and the many games that he's played, Mark's has seen it all and he's going to take that shot.
Diba kasi usually, yung strong leg mo, yun yung nasa
binababa
harap.
mo
Yung ginawa niya, baliktad eh.
Parang off-legged layup eh.
Yeah. Saliwa. Sumang fakes out to Marquis. He will not take it this time. Sumang, that's the travel laban sa kanya.
That's a same foot travel right there. And Roy acknowledges. I thought Mark was going to take that shot.
He's got to land on the other foot if he tries to make that hop step. 15 ang hinahabol dito ng Valenzuela Classic, or the 2 minutes gone by here in the second frame. And Cyrus Baguio has not been able to attempt a shot here in the second quarter. Here he is. That's his first attempt. Couldn't convert. Rebound taken by Paul Desiderio. Sumang sees Bringas on the trail job. That's travel. Laban kay RV.
Well, that's another turnover. That's turnover number 7 for Abra. But the thing is, they always come back and defend and prevent points of turnovers in favor for Valenzuela.
Armenion from the outside. Wala. Di pa rin nakakabutas mula sa labas dito ang Valenzuela. But so has Abra. 0 out of 4 are the Weavers from the outside. Valenzuela is 0 out of 2. It's the second team foul against the Classic. Cyrus Baguio ang mapapatawan dun ng personal foul. Sumang in the game with Desiderio, Marky, Neil Tolentino, and RV Bringas for the team of Coach Yong Garcia.
This will be a middle ball screen here.
Sumang goes to Marky, another 3 on the way. Wala. Ladis Lepalam winning that rebounding battle against RV Bringas, who tried to face guard him on that box out.
Yeah, and that's what you expect from Ladis, to be able to control that rebound. Lalo na he's got height and reach advantage over Bringas.
Can Valenzuela finally convert on this possession? J.R. Sumido has now checked in para kay Coach Alvin Morante. Let's see if he can generate some points here para sa kanila. Sumido goes to De Los Santos. Spins to the left, kicks it out to Baguio. Cyrus loses it. Sumang leading the break here for the Weavers. Tolentino trails the play, leaves it for Mark Yee. Yee takes his time here. Marami pang oras sa shot clock ng Abra Weavers. Desiderio back to Yee on the repost. A little bit far away from the shaded area. Back to Paul. Mr. Atinto, can he get that? He was fouled on the shot. 2 free throws coming up for Paul Desiderio.
Yeah, and you kept mentioning na mahaba pa ang oras, pero nung nag-wind down na yung clock, steady pa rin no? Yung execution, walang rattle, walang nagmamadali. And a lot of poise here being shown by the Abra Weavers on the execution offensively.
Which I think ang talagang hinahanap ni Kong Mayor Bernos from the start, considering that he got this veteran core lined up. Let's go to Miss Andre in the short court side.
For the side of Valenzuela, Mike Machon is present here at the venue tonight but isn't suited up due to a knee injury. At kahit naglalaro nga ngayon si Dennis Santos, he is actually recovering from a fever. While Reeve Obsang naman is still not at his 100% because of his previous knee injury. In which, sabi nga ni Coach Aldrin Morante, these kind of events aren't helping them, especially against a team na kahit hanggang third stringer will give them a hard time. Nonetheless, Coach Aldrin knows his boys won't let this game slide, especially with the possibility of the playoffs on the line. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that update, Andrea, as Mike De Los Santos scores there para sa Valenzuela Classic. Well, Mike Machon is certainly a big loss para sa kanila sa laro na to.
Yeah, and Mike's roughly good for about 7 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist per game. He plays roughly about 15 minutes. And shoots real good from the field too, 46%. So you're losing a lot without Mike in there.
That's Roy Sumang getting that floater to drop, extending the Abra lead to 17, 29-12. But Coach, continuing on that discussion in the front line of the Valenzuela Classic, one guy that I have yet to see still para sa kanilang kupunan is Micah Osita.
Yeah, and you help yung health and size could help out on the rebounding part, especially mga paint attack. Oh, wow, another move inside.
Desiderio gets it to Markey outside, directing traffic from the left. That's a moving pick laban sa kanya. That's going to be an offensive foul against the living legend of the MPBL. That was referee Jay Mabandos calling that personal laban kay Mark.
And pag tinignan mo yung atake sa opensiba nitong Abra Weavers, they always want to get paint touches. And so you move that defense inside, and that's eventually they move pieces around. And, that defense rotates a little bit late. That's when they attack.
Darren Manliguez back in the game for Coach Aldrin Morante. Tonton Bringas switches on to him. RV guarding Labis Lepalam. Lepalam misses on the fall-away jumper, but Sumido is there to collect the offensive rebound and try and put it back in.
Talk about a guy who's best used coming off the bench. That's your man right there, Sumido. I mean, there were some games that we saw him start for Valenzuela, didn't do so much, but once he came off the bench, he was scoring points, getting rebounds, getting assists. And there are definitely players that would want to see how the flow of the game would be bago siya makapaggawa ng kanyang contribution sa laro.
Jer Sumido has only played a total of 5 games so far para dito sa Valenzuela Classic. We'd like to greet happy viewing to Francisco Pimentel, aka Balong from Bukay Abra. And of course to everybody watching on our social media channels. MPTV Channel 98 on Signal, Satellite Channel 53 on the Pilipinas Live app, as well as on our Facebook and YouTube pages. We thank you for joining us in this game between the Abra Weavers and the Valenzuela Classic.
Pero kung ikaw si Coach Aldrin, more or less you like where you're at now. This is a 17-point deficit, pretty close, couple of stops, couple of makes. This is going to change the complexion of the game. And you do understand that you haven't gone to the line yet. And so, you know, the hope is you'll be better once you get that opportunity in there.
Past the halfway point of quarter number 2. Tolentino on top being defended by J.R. Sumido. Desiderio trying to ask for it. Instead, Tolentino goes to Tonton Bringas. Heavyweight matchup there on the block against Mark Montuano.
Heavyweight talaga.
Bakbakan kung bakbakan yan sa poste.
Oo, totoo.
You can't expect anything less from those two players. Both established bruisers here in the MPBL.
That foul, you could argue, could be marginal on the side of Bringas, but you know, referee sees otherwise.
Manliguez almost lost it to the sideline. And he attempts for 3. He was left wide open, but muffs that opportunity. Tolentino goes to the rack and draws the foul.
Literal na energy bunny talaga to si Tolentino, eh, no?
What about the maturity that he's shown us, Coach, the past 2 years? Ito si Neil Tolentino.
Yeah, yung I guess the embrace on his role on the team, not to overdo too much, but to continue to have that, you know, spunk in how he does things.
That free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. John Lloyd Clemente right there on your screens. A fellow former Pampanga Giant Lantern with Neil Tolentino. So already MPBL champions in their very young professional career. Itong dalawang player na to.
And so far it's only seen 6 minutes in this match. Going 1 out of 3 from the field.
Lepala misses a gimme, but third serving, he made sure that he was going to get the 2 points para sa Valenzuela. Tolentino was all alone. Lepala was trying to give chase, but Tolentino was just too far ahead to catch up on.
Some coaches would call that a fly out. If you're being guarded by that man who scored, you got to fly out the other way and make him defend the other. And to cover that length of the floor, medyo mahirap para kay Ladis.
Manliguez with a hand in his face, drains that jumper.
They're gonna need shots like those. Kasi pag pumapasok yung perimeter shots na gano'n, it, I guess, changes the defensive scheme of Abra a little bit.
15 pa rin ang hinahabol nila. Abra with the basketball here. Desiderio wanting a screen from Bringas. That's Tonton. Desiderio doesn't use
Good
it.
block.
Blocked there by Montuano. Manliguez all the way to the cup.
Now we're seeing a better version of Darryl here. This is what Coach Aldrin needs to be able to come up with a win in this match.
A quick 4 points for one of the quickest players in the MPBL, Darryl Manliguez. He's featured in our fast break of the game, brought to you by SportsMax, powered by PlayMax, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL. Win to the max. Timeout here para kay Coach Yong Garcia and the Abra Weavers. Darryl Manliguez against the Rizal Golden Coolers. Top scorer with 20 points, 8 out of 10 from the field, 3 out of 4 from downtown, plus 5 rebounds and 4 assists. And here in this game, nagpaparamdam na ulit siya as Valenzuela tries to overcome this double-digit advantage that they have in front of them.
And again, you know, prior to that, I don't see Darrell was 0 out of 5. And right now, he's 2 out of 7 from the field. He's got 4 points.
Cañete fakes the handoff to both Tolentino and Caballero. And that's a turnover for the Abra Weavers. That's off of a timeout.
And we talked about points of turnovers being a key attribute of itong Valenzuela. And so now you got to score a point here so that you make this a little bit more manageable heading into the half.
Manliguez puts on the brakes, turns around, goes for the one-hander. Wala. That's last touch on Abra.
And so far, at least for the last, 4 possessions, we've seen this combo of Ladis Lepalam and Mark Montuano doing wonders in controlling the rebound. It's not so easy to get defensive rebounds now para dito sa Abra Weavers.
Well, the problem now for them, Coach, is do those two have enough in the tank to fight it out with the rest of this loaded Abra front line for the rest of the game?
I agree. And that remains to be seen. We still got a full half on our way.
Clemente able to get that left hand finish to drop.
And Clemente is really just going out there and trying to fish. Ooh.
Manliguez almost got that one to drop. Medyo malakas lang dun.
Well, I thought JLC at some point was still trying to fish for a third foul. But again, you force that turnover, you run the other way, you've got blue shirts running lanes, and JLC really just finishing.
Coach, ang maganda pa dito, talagang pinapakita ng Abra yung kanilang disiplina and their aggressiveness defensively.
Yes, tama ka doon.
You saw in that last replay how Mike Cañete really went and closed out that.
Right.
Got the steal laban kay Dennis Santos.
And now Osita's here on the floor.
I think this is the first time we're seeing him here para dito sa Valenzuela Classic.
That's right. This could go either way. An advantage for Valenzuela or an advantage for the Weavers. We'll see.
Caballero.
There you go.
Out to the right side. Clemente, he was fouled on the three-point shot by Paulo Hubalde.
Well, Clemente, I feel, was a little bit late by a split second on that rise to that spot on the floor. I feel that Caballero was waiting for a little bit more better angle on that pass.
A little conversation here between Tonton Bringas and Mike Osita. Kakapasok pa lang ni Osita. Nagkarambulan agad sila ni Tonton Bringas.
Baka naman sinasabihan lang na masyadong malakas yung mga baksa. Kasi ang laki ni Osita di ba?
I'd like to greet a happy viewing to National Commission Senior Citizen of Bukay Abra, Rogelio Baton Jr., the Federation President of Bukay Abra. There's going to be a review of that last play and possibly on a possible unsportsmanlike foul, I think, against Paulo Hubalde, who might have been in the landing spot of John Lloyd Clemente. 1 minute and 41 still to go here in the first half. At di pa nga tayo tapos dito, Coach, pero ang dami na talaga nangyayari.
Yeah. Well, it's because of the way that Abra's been dictating the pace of the game. I guess the pace and the intensity at which this game is being played, definitely this is Abra-style basketball.
Oh, Miss Doris Perez in the house. Kilala mo ba yan, Coach?
That's my beautiful wife.
Yeah.
She cooks for me and I drive for her.
Simple lang, no?
Simple lang.
And of course, the many people inside here, the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym. Hardly an empty seat in the house for this game between the Abra Weavers and the Valenzuela Classic, the third home defense of the season. Para sa kanilang kupunan, of course, they were able to defend it successfully the first 2 times against the Rizal Golden Coolers in the Iloilo United Royals. They won 74-63 against Rizal last June 15, while dominating Iloilo just 2 weeks ago, actually, 77-55.
And you see all these fans trooping here to the games of the Weavers, primarily because, you know, you see the effort being reciprocated by the Abra Weavers. You get so much support like this, you know, you really just got to play hard.
John Lloyd Clemente was eventually awarded those 3 free throws. There you see his numbers so far this season. Almost 10 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 70.6% from the charity stripe. He misses on the second. 34-18. 2 out of 3 para kay JLC.
And one of the reasons why they brought in Osita in this game, because this is a +12 difference on the rebound stat in favor of the Abra Weavers.
Osita gets it. He's going to try and power his way here against GP Paundo. That's a walk. Laban kay Micah Osita.
Yeah, that's clearly a walk.
He loves the jeers from the crowd, coach. He wants it.
Really just a baller right there. You see in Osita. You know, these things happen, especially on a home and away setup. And, you know, it's just the competitor in him wanting to show everyone that, you know, I can give you my best shot too.
Yan naman talaga ang gusto mo makita dito sa MPBL.
Oh.
That's the beauty of the home and away setup that we have. Going back to Micah Osita, clearly not yet in playing shape. That's why he hasn't been fielded in until now by Coach Aldrin Morante. Pero coach, pag na-condition to, malaking rin maitutulong nito ni Micah Osita.
Ay, oo. I mean, that size and that head, maybe, I guess, you know, I know he's working on conditioning, but that's a huge guy right there, right smack in the middle for Valenzuela.
He's still talking to the crowd here as they get into their half-court set. Montuano gets it to Osita. Micah underneath, just short. Montuano tried to get the offensive rebound. And here comes Trinidad, the homegrown for the Weavers, gets his first basket of the game.
And the crowd roars in approval for Trinidad, showing the way to the rack on that attack.
First, it was disapproval for Micah Osita. And then when they got the stop, Trinidad goes all the way to the cup to the approval of everybody here inside the gym.
And obviously, every guy who gets that defensive rebound, they treat it like a life turnover. And so you got to run the other way and figure out, 1, if you can score, or 2, find an open man that's free.
That's Prince Trinidad scoring his first basket of the season for the Abra Weavers. 39-18, 51 seconds remaining in the first half. The Abra Weavers have now opened up a 21-point lead here against the Valenzuela Classic. Live na live pa rin ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. This is the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League here at the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym at the University of Benguet campus in Abra. Third home defense of the season for the Weavers. This time it's against the Valenzuela Classic. Darman Ligas and company struggling here as we wind down this second quarter. Hopefully these 2 free throws will help them finish quarter number 2 strong. They've only managed to get a total of 9 points here in this period.
And that's their first made free throw on their. This is just their second trip from there.
2 for 2 para kay Daryl Manliguez. He has 6 in this one.
And they're -10 on that department too.
Cañete hands it off to JLC. Clemente, too strong on the jumper. Rebound collected by Micah Osita. Dennis Santos quickly into their front court. The spin, Dipsy Do kisses it off the glass.
Good move by Dennis.
Ay, sabi mo nga, Coach, he needs to channel his inner KD in this game.
Right. And he's got to play through all these physicality too.
Last shot time here for the Abra Weavers. Caballero from the outside. Wala. Clemente tracks down the long rebound. GP Paundo still last time. Caballero gets to it. Bullets a pass inside to Kretz Trinidad, who gets another basket. Imagine waiting for your opportunity to get on the floor for your team. And here in front of your home crowd, you managed to get your first 4 points of the season.
Not only that, the kind of game that this is being played, you see all these people around supporting Abra Weavers, and Trinidad not minding that. I am going to follow the coach's instructions, and this is going to be a shot that I am more than willing to take.
That helps the Abra Weavers go up by 17 still as we end our first half here between them and the Valenzuela Classic. The basket will count, so 19 ang kalamangan ng Abra heading into the halftime break, 41-22. John Lloyd Clemente, Mike Cañete, and Marky all combining for 19 points in that first half para sa Abra. Yi with 7, Cañete with 6, Clemente with 6 as well.
And it really is just about total team effort. Sure, we can talk about these guys who scored, but you know, guys getting rebounds, pushing the ball the other way, finding open men on the lane. Those really led to these guys leading up the point production.
At ang nakakatakot dyan, Coach, 80% pa lang daw itong conditioning nitong Abra Weavers,
man.
according to Coach Yong Garcia. 41-22 is our score at the half. This is brought to you by GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending GameX.
Back here at the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gymnasium for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. My name is Andrea Endisa, and right now we will be having our halftime interview together with Assistant Coach J.R. Villanueva, the Assistant Coach of Valenzuela Classic, and of course, Kong Mayor J.B. Bernos, the team owner of the Abra Weavers. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me here at the half. Unahin ko na munang kausapin si Coach J.R. Coach JR, that definitely wasn't a good start para sa Valenzuela Classic. Sa inyo pong palagay, ano po ba yung mga naging problema ng inyong team during the first half?
Siguro nag-ulang kami kasi talagang malalaki ang Abra. Sa ilalim pa lang, talagang dominante na nila yung ilalim. So, nag-ulang kami sa mga rebound namin. Kaya siguro, tapos nagsimula pa kami ng bad start. Kaya siguro natambakan kahit kami ng ganun.
With that being said, Coach, ano po ba yung gusto nyong makita sa Valenzuela Classic for the second half para makabawi kayo?
Yun, pinag-usapan namin nila Coach Lon na yung depensa namin dapat maibigay namin sa kanila, tapos lalo na yung mga rebound, talagang kulang na kulang kami sa rebound. So yun lang naman ang
Well, Coach JR, let's continue to hope for the best. Meron po ba kayong gustong batiin o pasalamatan?
Gusto na namin pasalamatan yung aming mga sponsor, Dynacast, YPS Floating Trading, Anytime Fitness, Accredited Wellness and Pain Clinic, VA Cargo, Met, Metro Land Builders Corporation. Saka special thanks to Valenzuela 2nd District Congressman Eric Martinez, Dr. Kat Martinez, Uncle Sam Lato, at sa siyempre yung family ko, yung wife ko si Christine, saka yung anak ko si daughter, si Elisha. Yun lang po.
Alright, thank you so much, Coach. At dumako naman tayo sa aking kanan. Kong Mayor, sa kabilang banda naman, para sa Abra, napakaganda ng inyong pinakita for the first half. Talagang tuwang-tuwa ang mga Abreños. Ano pong masasabi ninyo sa kanilang first half performance?
Well, everybody wants to win. Ayaw nilang matalo in front of our home crowd. Ayaw matalo ng Abra Weavers. And isa pa, the team wants to go to Kaparkan tomorrow. Sabi ko, pag natalo kayo ngayon, walang pupunta sa Kaparkan sa inyo. So they really want to see Kaparkan, the world class, the world renowned Kaparkan Falls here in Abra. Gustong pumunta ng team. So that's an added motivation for the whole team. Sabi ko sa kanila, pag natalo kayo, walang pupunta. Uwi agad sa Manila. That's it.
Kaya naman po pala inspired ang mga Weavers sa game na ito. And one more thing, Kong Mayor, this is the first season na sumali ang Abra sa MPBL, but the coast is very clear para sa inyo, para sa playoffs. As the team owner, gaano po kayo ka-proud sa inyong team?
Well, I'm more than proud, pero I'm much prouder for the support of all the people from Abra. Yung support, the support we're getting from the whole of Abra. Maraming salamat. Agyaman na kada kayo amin for the standing of the team. Right now, I guess we are number 5 doon sa North Division. But we're trying to get home court advantage. We're trying to catch up with Manila para makuha namin yung number 4 spot. That's our goal right now para magkaroon kami ng home court advantage.
That is right. At grabe naman po talaga ang suporta ng mga taga-Abra sa inyong team. Pangatlong game na po natin dito pero laging puno ang ating venue. Meron pa po ba kayong mga gustong batiin, Kong Mayor?
Ay, inuulit ko. Gayaman na kada kayo amin. Thank you. Thank you, ti Awan na Sarday na nga suporta ti Abra Weavers. Maraming salamat po.
Alright, thank you so much. Once again, that is Kong Mayor JB Bernos, the team owner of the Abra Weavers. And that's it for our halftime interview. Don't go away, magbabalik pa rin po ang MPBL.
Welcome to the halftime break here between the Abra Weavers and the Valenzuela Classic. The score is 41-22. Live pa rin dito mula sa Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym in the University of Benguet Campus, Abra. Si Sabi Palanya joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Andrea Indicio. Coach Mike, it was a dominant showing for the Abra Weavers in that first half. So, similar to what they had against the Muntinlupa Cagers in their last game.
Yeah, totoo yan. Pag tinignan mo yung field goal attempts, +7 para dito sa Valenzuela, pero maganda ang percentage nitong Abra. And yung lead, a lot of it has come from the made free throws. You know, +13 more trips to the line para dito sa Abra Weavers. And yung 12 points that they got out of the 7 turnovers that they forced on Valenzuela. Yung 7 turnovers na yan, Habi, 7 iba-ibang players yan. Each one getting at least 1 turnover. And the only guys that did not turn the ball over on the court was Montuano, Sumido, and Andre Arminion. And you know, that speaks a lot on the defense scheme of Abra, and the rebounds definitely controlled by itong Abra Weavers. +13. Lalo na pagdating dito sa offensive rebound when they got 8 versus that of 6 for Valenzuela.
Ang maganda kasi nangyayari dito, Coach, sa Abra is everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, they're really playing the same kind of intensity defensively.
Yes.
Take a look at the leading scorers for the Valenzuela Classic. Santos and Manliguez each with 6. Montuano and De Los Santos combining for 8 points para sa kanilang kupunan. Sorely missing the services of Mike Mason in this game. On the other side, Marky leading the way with 7 points. Cañete and JLC with 6. Roy Sumang has 5.
Pero yung ano na yung score na ni Dennis Santos, medyo few and far in between yon. Tapos yung kay Daryl Manliguez, you know, latter part na yun ng second quarter. And so you need more productions from those guys.
I'm looking to see. Oh my God, Laris Lepala missing a gimme. He was wide open. Nobody near him.
Yeah, perfect setup too. Sayang.
Could have been a good way for them to start off the third quarter. Alfred Batino banging bodies there with Mark Montuano. Montuano gets the better of that matchup. I'm looking for Mark Montuano to score more baskets here in the second half for Valenzuela, Coach. He's going to be an important piece if they're going to be able to get back into this game.
I totally agree. And, you know, primarily he's got to get more touches. I mean, off ball or off pinch actions like those, you got to run it through Mark Montuano.
Early substitution here. Wala pang isang minuto. Nakakalipas dito para kay Coach Alden Morate. Pinalitan niya agad si Carl Lacap for Dennis Santos. But a turnover para sa Abra, which Comboy failed to capitalize on.
And, you know, very easy shots na mimintis nitong dalawang team na to early in the third quarter, Javi.
Wala pa nakakapuntos dito sa ating second half. Montuano trying to get the step there on Mark Yee. That's a foul laban sa kanya. As Marky tried to pull the chair underneath ito si Mark Montuano. I'm sure they're reliving a lot of matchups that they had in practice last year when they were still with the Bacoor City Strikers. Montuano hands it off to Santos. Corner pocket 3. Masyadong malakas. Lepalam tried to keep it alive to no avail. Ganap Caballero tumitingin sa loob. Batino wants it on the other side. And they go to Comboy in the middle. Alfred sets the screen. Comboy from downtown. It rims out. Anliguez to the left side. Santos sets for 3. Good line, too strong. Montuano off the glass and in.
Now, this seems to be a little bit of a slower start para dito sa Abra Weavers. And so if you're Valenzuela, you want to take advantage of that and do a run your other way.
If they're going to have a chance in this game, one thing they also have to do is to try and match the intensity defensively of these Abra Weavers.
Right, agree. Lalo na, remember, when they get the defensive rebound, the initial reaction is really to run the floor, regardless of who gets the rebound. I mean, if you're free on the lane, you can run it the other way, then go run it.
Second foul called there, laban kay Ladis Lepalam as he tried to deny Batino the basketball. Comboy defended by Cyrus Baguio. Shot clock winding down here for the Weavers. Desiderio had to take it. Lipalam gets that rebound. At 7 in the game now para kay Ladis Lipalam. Santos is 0 out of 2 from three-point country here to start the third quarter.
Now this cold start by Abra could be something that they want to take advantage of. Speaking of Valenzuela.
Lipalam, short on the short jumper.
Pero sila rin kasi nagmimintis no?
Comboy steps back, kicks it out to Marquis. Does it hesitate? Takes his time and makes that three-point shot.
Alam mo yung big man na pag rumilis ng tres, parang alam mong papasok na. Yun si Marquis. He's so composed and setting it up and taking that shot.
At saka ang ganda ng form, coach. Steady.
Steady, that's right.
Montuano hands it off to Baguio. Turns the corner. Cyrus adjusts in midair. Lipalam gets to the basketball. Still no conversion there for the Valenzuela Classic. Not even an attempt after that Baguio basket. Comboy. Abra couldn't go back-to-back from the outside. That would have brought the house down here inside the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym. Pangatlo na yan, laban kay Marquis. Tingnan ulit natin yon. This was a three-point shot from the living legend of the MPBL, Marquis.
Alam na alam mong kalmadong tumira no? But,
sukat na sukat
sukat na sukat. Ang isang bagay lang na hindi pa nagagawa ng Valenzuela dito is yung to take advantage and exploit these misses by the Abra Weavers.
Montuano heavily pressured by Marquis. Also good ball denial by Paul Desiderio, and Dennis Santos preventing him to get a pass on top.
And clearly Cyrus Baguio is trying to be very active offensively here. He's trying to create situations where he can actually score in an attempt to try and spark his team, because no one's been consistently on the offensive side producing for them.
Well, if he could channel his older self dito sa laro na to, the Cyrus Baguio of old, and the Classic will be in good place to trim the gap. Montuano carving out space. It gets the fourth foul on Marquis.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you were talking about earlier. You got to run the offense through Mark Montuano, and he understands that tatlo na tong si Marquis, and so he went in there and attacked. Didn't mind if he was going to get his shot blocked, but just the resolve to try and test that defense of Mark.
And you saw the celebration right there after the shot. Sign of a sigh of relief para sa Valenzuela Classic, particularly para dito kay Mark Montuano.
Tsaka siguro lahat ng frustration niya kanina sa first half na marami siyang gustong gawin, hindi niya magawa.
Ang ganda ng percentage na, coach, from the field, 4 out of 5.
Right.
The problem is he hasn't been able to get off attempts because ang taas ng pressure nitong Abra Weavers.
Not enough touches.
Shot clock at 6 here for the guys in blue. DHO there with Cañete and Caballero. Desiderio, not enough time for him.
Yeah, they just ran out of time. They were trying to run everything, pero naubusan lang ng oras.
Malaki pa rin ang kalamangan dito ng Abra Weavers, 44-26. We're now approaching the halfway point of quarter number 3.
You gotta get a string of stops and a string of makes.
Santos stops. Jumper is short. Desiderio forward to Comboy. The bounce pass to Batino. Decelerates. Just short on the inside hand scoop. And nevertheless, he will be awarded 2 free throws.
Pero yung pagbaba tapos mapekto sampay yung tira, no? Di lang talaga umabot, di umangat ulit.
Ito si Alfred Batino, isa sa mga inaasahan talagang pumuntos para dito sa kanilang koponan. Let's go to Miss Andrea Endicio at courtside.
During halftime for the side of Abra, Coach Yong Garcia says he's happy with the kind of intensity and effort that he had seen from his boys. But of course, with the lead this big, there's always a tendency to slack off. So paalala niya, don't mind the score. Play like they're back to square one. Para naman sa Valenzuela, Coach Aldrin Morante is concerned with the fact na naiiwan talaga sila sa rebounds and fast break. Ang dami raw errors and factor din na andun yung execution but fails to convert. Nonetheless, his call is to take it possession by possession. Hadi yan, Coach Mike.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Free throw drained there by Alfred Batino. Well, that's exactly how you have to do it.
Right.
Take it one possession at a time if you're Valenzuela.
And that really just tells you how well both these teams are coached by Coach Aldrin and Coach Young. Just knowing their craft. Good finish.
There's no conversion there galing kay Mark Montuano.
Yeah, but you love that he's attacking. No, he's not settling. He understands I'm gonna be the main guy to get those points that we need on the board.
He's got to put up all-star numbers in this game. Talking about
Agree.
Mark Montuano.
But he has to have help. I mean, Dennis has been struggling. Much as he's made 3 attempts, but he's 3 out of 8 from the field for a very regular 37% from the field. He's 0 out of 3 from 3 points. Hasn't gotten any rebounds. He's turned the ball over once, but you know, he's got 1 steal to his name. And so you got to contribute on the other departments too if you're Dennis.
1 out of 2 para kay Montuano. Comboy trains the 3.
I feel the key there was Paul Desiderio immediately flipping that ball over to Comboy. Oh!
But the quick answer by Dennis Santos on the other side.
Sagutan na ng Tresto.
Comboy, that's another 3-point shot for Ino Comboy.
What you can do, we can do better. And so now, Valenzuela, it's your turn to answer back.
Manligues couldn't knock down that jumper. Abra looking to run. Desiderio wants it. Keanu doesn't get it to him. And Caballero eventually losing it off of his leg. That's going to be Valenzuela basketball.
Yeah. And you see Coach Denok right there telling, I think it was Comboy telling him, you got to run the weak side of the floor with Keanu on that side.
This is our 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. 2 3-pointers in the last 2 possessions para kay Ino Comboy.
Tama ka dyan.
Cañete is ahead of the pack. Santos manages to get back down together with Armenion. 3-pointer, no good galing kay Comboy.
Napaka-unselfish nito mga Weavers na to. May tira na yun no? Pero ginigive up pa rin.
Handa ng lahat tumalon dito sa loob ng ating venue kung pumasok ulit yun para kay Ino Comboy.
Yeah, and kanina, going back to that turnover of Keanu Caballero, what Coach Denok was actually telling Comboy was that since that's a baseline drive, somebody's gotta drift to the baseline corner with the weak side para ma-free up yung tira. And since wala nangyari, wala mapasaan si Keanu, kaya nag-turnover.
Andre Armenion now at the stripe for 2 shots. He sinks the first. Former UE Red Warrior. There you see Coach Alden Morante. Still looking for answers here para sa Valenzuela Classic. It has been a big struggle for them in this game. Trying to get on a rhythm. 2 for 2 for Andre Armenion. 20 ang hinahabol dito ng Valenzuela. That's an offensive foul against Abra.
Is that on Mike? Yeah, Mike Cañete.
That's number 3 against Cañete.
Somehow there's a part of me that would love to see Andre Armenion set up the table para dito sa Valenzuela. I mean, he normally averages roughly about 6 assists per game. And so far in this match, he's never gotten an assist yet.
Basket and 1 inside para kay Daryl Manligues. More action than what we're usually used to seeing here in this game for the Valenzuela Classic on that possession.
Good little wide pin down of that split action, and Daryl sees he's got a top side defended, and so he went back door. Good read.
Manligues now with 9 points in the game, tying Dennis Santos and Mark Montuano for scoring honors para sa Valenzuela Classic. Those 3 guys starting to hum now para sa kanilang kupunan. But still a huge advantage that they have to overcome here. Alfred Bautino making it hard for Mark Montuano to defend him underneath.
Yeah, and you see the spacing of the Abra Weavers. You know, that solo side where you got a wing guy with the ball and Batino right there on the post up and letting them play a little 2-man action. Samantalang nag-staggered screen sa kabila. Just brings a different dimension to options para dito sa Abra Weavers.
Montuano also just picked up his 3rd personal foul, which brings Coach Aldrin Morante to insert Landis Lepalam back in for him.
Oo, kasi sigurado siya naman ang atakein katulad kanina kay kay Marquis.
Comboy, high looper of a shot. That's way off the mark. That was an air ball galing kay Ino Comboy. Alfred Batino committing another personal foul. That brings Abra over the limit. So 2 free throws from here on out. Every foul call para sa Abra.
And now this is a good chance. There's still 2 minutes in here. You got to attack that defense of Abra Weavers. Get yourself a trip to the line. You are a -9 right now in terms of attempts, but you got to make your shots once you're in there.
Landis Lepalam has missed a number of golden opportunities in this game. From the free throw line and from up close, Coach. A lot of open looks.
And you'd like to think he'd do a little bit better, being a big man. And he's going to get those trips a lot.
He's also been set up by his teammates quite a number of times. Di lang talaga niya natatapos.
Yeah. He's roughly about 62% free throw shooter. So, you got to do better.
Clemente gets it across here para sa Abra.
Right side.
It's a pass to Roy Sumang. He wants a screen. Doesn't wait for it. Sumang
Oh, wow.
drops a pass to GP Paundo with a mini slam.
That's just good read.
Same here on display by Neil Tolentino. He gets into the passing lanes. Cañete fakes a pass. Natapik yun from behind ni Andre Armiñon. That's a foul against him.
A really little ball fake right there by Cañete. But again, you got to go back to the setup. He was top-sided, denied the middle, went in there. Secondary guy helps out, and Paundo was the least guarded guy, and he made that dunk.
That's our play of the game brought to you by Suzuki. That's why when Roy Sumang is on the floor, Coach, trying to make those kinds of plays, you would really expect that there should be a guy or two open because he attracts so much attention.
That's right. And, some coaches would tell you when in doubt, spread out. And so that's exactly what Abra Weavers is doing. Try to spread out, get your big man on the weak side post. And nobody's taking that ball away from Neil.
Tolentino will make sure that he has that basketball forever. Napunta na nga kay Mike Cañete.
But kung ikaw si Coach Yong, matutuwa ka sa ganyang effort.
Akian Lee, another homegrown for Abra, comes in for the first time.
Pero ang nagugustuhan mo rin dito sa dalawang coaches na to, Coach Aldrin and even Coach Yong, nobody's overcoaching. I mean, they're letting what they practiced on the floor in practice be seen on the floor.
This is a 20-point lead for the Abra Weavers. Coach, para dito sa Abra, what they're doing right now here in the third quarter is they're not getting complacent. Yung sinabi kanina ni Coach Yong Garcia, there's a chance for them to relax because of this huge advantage. But he reminded his boys that they cannot let up, especially against a veteran team like Valenzuela, who is also trying to get this win to improve their standing in the Northern Division, as Paulo Hubalde gives them help for that cause with that basket and one.
Yeah. Tama ka doon. And, you cannot take anything lightly. And itong atake na to ni Paulo Hubalde, hindi naging madali yan. Kasi initially, he was on the right side of the floor. He's a left-handed dribbler. They tried to force him on the side, but, the craftiness in him allowed him to swing that ball over to the left side of the floor and finish off with that layup.
Sumang out to Will Lee. Misses everything. Tolentino was blocked on the reverse. Lee, step through, floater, masyado malakas, Lepalam, emphatic rebound galing sa kanya. Hubalde will finish this one.
Yeah, and Paulo right now starting a little run here. It's a 5-0 run para sa Valenzuela. They're down 15 right now. But then again, if you're Abra, you'd love the confidence of your homegrowns taking shots whenever available.
Manligues going forward to Paulo Hubalde. Quick 2 baskets for the Aquaman as he came back into this game. spending most of this third quarter on the bench, but now creating impact para sa kanila. They're down by 15 still with 1 minute and 22 to go here in quarter number 3. Presenting our Suzuki muscular and sporty fans of the game, just like the Avenus, do more and achieve more with the muscular and sporty scooter from Suzuki. The Avenus, oras na para magmotor. We welcome you back to this game between the Abra Weavers and the Valenzuela Classic. As sabi pala niya, joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Andrea Indicio. Punong-puno po tayo dito. Hardly an empty seat in the house here in the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym at the University of Benguet campus dito po sa Abra.
Well, this is a good quarter for Valenzuela. Coach Aldrin's team outscoring so far. Itong Abra, 18 and 14.
We'd like to greet happy viewing and happy birthday to Darwin Herda, Jason, and Francis. And of course to everybody watching on MPTV Channel 98 on Signal, Satellite Channel 53 on the Pilipinas Live app, as well as on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Off of the stoppage, Andrea Armenion commits that personal foul. Penalty na po rin dito ang Valenzuela. That's why Willie will be taking 2 shots from the line.
And you see Coach Aldrin, he's not even reacting to that call because he saw that Andrea Armenion was pretty much late on that receive by Lee.
Will Lee able to take care of business on the first free throw, first point of the game for the homegrown. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go here in the third. Split at the line para kay Will Lee. Andrea Armenion rushing into their front court. Manliga sees some space to drive. Gets it to De Los Santos. Mike fakes out 2 defenders and gets the basket on the left side.
I like this 3-guard combination of Coach Aldrin. Andre Armenion, Paulo Hobalde, and Daryl Manligas all on the floor at the same time. You could make a case that Armenion would be the designated point guard, and then Paulo and Daryl would be your wingman. But those 3 are pretty much pwedeng palitan, switchable, in terms of that role.
Those are 3 of the leading assist men in the MPBL this year. Imagine having the 3 assist leaders on one team.
That's right.
Suman converts on the first free throw.
Well, not just assisting, these guys can score too, di ba?
That's correct, yeah. Manligas, Armenion, and Hubalde. So that guy at the line, he definitely can score.
Yeah. And what does that allows them is to really to push possessions, push the pace of the game, and make this a little bit closer than it is.
De Los Santos trying to go back-to-back. Napayungan siya doon ni GP Paundo. Got into the cookie jar right there to commit that foul. De Los Santos naman ang magkakaroon ng oportunidad na tumira mula sa ating free throw line.
And so far talaga ang key difference right now when you talk about position, it's really on the bigs, in my opinion. You're not getting enough help from the other bigs of Valenzuela.
These free throws haven't really been going in as much as they want to. Talking about the Valenzuela Classic, they're 8 out of 14 right now. Sorry, 8 out of 15 from the free throw line. Will Lee crossover into the middle, puts it up. Masyado malakas. Hubalde was leaking out, but Suman gets it back for Abra. Paundo was blocked by Lepalam.
Good defensive stop there by Valenzuela. Now you got to make them pay the other end.
Lock up, able to get to 2 defenders. Blocked there by GP Paundo. Strong plays defensively for both Paundo and Lepalam the past few possessions.
And that's not a possession that Coach Aldrin would want.
Sumang, and the last play of the third quarter. Roy drops it off. Paundo, power dribble. That wasn't gonna count even if it went in. Naubusan na ng oras doon ng Abra.
Well, Valenzuela could have gotten a really good last possession right there, but couldn't convert. Could have made this into, a 13-point game.
Let's check out the highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration. Dennis Santos came in to score a bunch of points para sa Valenzuela Classic. Makipagsagutan sa kay Ino Comboy. And that's in those shots from the outside. And still the Abra Weavers hold the advantage here as we enter the final frame. Our score at the end of the third quarter is 58-43. This is brought to you by GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending GameX. Up next on the schedule of the Abra Weavers, they will be facing Zamboanga on August 31, the defending champions on September 10, and 6 days after that, the Nueva Ecija Rise Vanguards. Quite the schedule ahead for these Abra Weavers.
Yeah, and that's a crucial stretch of their hope to get a really good spot in that playoff run. And so, you know, you got to win as many as you can now if you want to stay in there.
De Los Santos couldn't get it off the glass.
And I'm sure what's on the mind of Coach Yong and the entire Abra organization is to stay in that number 4, top 4 spot. Because after all, having that home court advantage and you traveling all the way here to play on home court advantage, that could spell the difference, especially as you see all the support of the Abreños here in every game of the Weavers.
Matapos yung panalo ng Pasay earlier in the day against the Imus Agimat, they climbed to 15-9 to overtake the Abra Weavers at number 5. Medyo nagpalit lang sila dito ng pwesto. Abra slides down to 6 while Pasay goes up to 5. But with a victory here, the Abra Weavers will go back and overtake Pasay because they would have the better record at 15-7.
That's right.
If they do finish this game with a victory.
Yeah, and Lepalam earlier got into a little bit of contact and he's holding on to his right shoulder. But the way of how he's been reacting, it doesn't look good.
We hope he's going to be fine and will be able to still get back into the game. After all, the front court rotation for Coach Aldrin Morante hasn't exactly been the deepest here in this game, especially with Mike Machon missing this one out.
Yeah, and importante dyan, he's given them 12 rebounds and 5 of them being offensive rebounds. And he's just been a monster of the glass para dito kay Coach Aldrin.
RV Bringas on the second free throw, converts that one. Balik sa 17 ang lamang dito ng Weavers.
And so without Lepalam on the floor right now, look for Abra Weavers to exploit this right now.
Montuano from the perimeter. That's an 18-footer for Mark Montuano.
And that's one way to counter it. You have to be very efficient on your shots.
Currently, they're shooting above 32% right now. Talking about the Valenzuela Classic. Tonton Bringas, mano-a-mano against Mark Montuano, able to get that step on the spin. Apat na yan. Laban dito kay Mark Montuano. Coach Alden Morante in that third quarter when Montuano picked up his third, immediately pulled him out to keep him from getting his fourth personal foul. Pero ngayon, pagpasok pa lang ng ating fourth quarter, Coach Mike, nakuha niya na yung kanyang pang-apat. This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
And what's even more concerning, Javi, is you just lost Ladis Lopalam going back to the bench. And with Mark, pretty much, you know, with the 4 fouls, it's going to be tough to go up against the board stats. To which right now, you're getting outperformed 46-27 on the rebounds.
De Los Santos with a rare open lane there. Nobody home for the Abra Weavers.
Now, kung ikaw naman ang Abra, you cannot be complacent, no? Understanding na wala na si Ladis, kaya na natin tong kontrolin yung board. You can't fall into complacency. because these guys still want to compete.
Hubalde had a difficult time there guarding JLC, who eventually got that basket over him.
But you have to love that effort by Paulo Hubalde. He got beat but quickly got up and tried to defend.
Montuano off the glass and in.
Mas maganda ang conversion ngayon ng Valenzuela, no? Ang laki ng in-improve compared to the earlier parts of the game.
Well, in the first half, they only shot 28.6% from the field, coach, 10 out of 35. Bringas, nakaisa na naman dito, laban kay Mark Montuano.
Wow, and they're really gonna milk that situation. That's a situational advantage on those 4 fouls by Mark.
And you know, this is a good way for Tonton to remind everybody that he's not just a bruiser. He's actually a very skilled big man. Talagang nauuna lang talaga makita ng mga taong yung kanyang enforcer type of attitude, because that is what's asked of him as Abra scores again there to extend the lead back up to 18.
Yeah, and you gotta play to your character. I mean, that's how he's built his playing style, and you cannot veer away from that, because if you do, then you're not being yourself.
Clemente all alone underneath.
The Abra Weavers are really going for the home run right now. That loss of Ladis Lepalam and that foul situation of Mark has really told on that run by Abra.
Well, for Valenzuela, it's too early to wave the white flag with still 7 minutes to go in this game, but Abra is forcing them to do so here.
Yes.
Marami pang oras ang natitira dito sa ating laro. A timeout by Coach Aldrin Morate to try and avert this crisis para sa kanilang kupunan. An update on our player matchup for tonight. Former Bacoor City Strikers, former teammates Mark Montuano and Marky. So far, Mark Montuano has that better of the individual matchup here, Coach. 13 points para sa kanya, while Marky scoring 10.
Well, that's just being true to their identity. Marky really contributes on other aspects of the game, rebounds and assists. But, you know, the ball's gotta flow through Mark Montuano.
Montuano is now at the bench para sa Valenzuela Classic. Both actually, Yi and Montuano have 4 fouls in this game.
Yes.
It was actually Montuano who drew the 4th personal of Marky.
Correct. I just realized it's a Mark versus Mark matchup pala, no, that we have.
Aside from those two being former teammates, of course, Mark Montuano is playing against his former team in this game, the Abra Weavers. He started the season with them. Hubalde fades away for the 3. Ladis Lepalam is back in the game. Scrambling for the loose ball was RV Bringas. This time it's Tonton running the floor there, getting the pass from Roy Sumang. But he misses on that layup. Hubalde floats it to De Los Santos, who could not handle the pass. The turnovers still continue to pile on here para dito sa Valenzuela. They managed to lessen it, Coach, in the third quarter.
Right. Totoo yan. Pero itong depensa pinakita na huli ni RB, nakita mo yung intensity sa depensa, no? You know, he's not scoring in that moment, pero gusto niya yung depensa ang ginagawa niya.
I still remember the time when RB Bringas was one of the more highly touted players in collegiate basketball. Of course, coming out of that vaunted San Sebastian Juniors team. That was a dynasty, headed, of course, by Coach Raymond Valenzuela. Roy Sumang showing the goggles to JLC.
What a pass. What a pass.
71-49 now. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that again. 26-16 in terms of assists. Mike De Los Santos refusing to crumble here for Valenzuela.
And it's not handling the ball for so long. It's situational reads by the Abra Weavers. It makes it so much fun to watch.
Two-man game between two former FU Tamaraos. Here's another former Tamarao. Bringas try to weave his way through traffic. That's RV Bringas fouled. Paulo Hubalde is down. He's holding on to his face. Let's try to see what happened. This was Roy Sumang though, finding John Lloyd Clemente on the wheel.
Well, that's just pretty much basic two-man action between a guy, you know, driving on the weak side and the weak side dunker spot just curling under. And by the way, this is the second time we've seen Paulo go down on the floor.
Hubalde has been pretty beaten this game. Earlier, someone fell on his foot. I think it was Mike Cañete.
Yeah.
And here, in the last play, dun ulit.
Yeah, tumama ulit. Dun, parang natapilok. Was that on Dennis? I think that was on Dennis or Ladis. That was so quick.
Hubalde is still trying to shake it off here on this Valenzuela sideline.
Yeah. And that's just the competitor in him, and he doesn't want to give up. And he's just been a guy that wants to be on the floor to compete.
Hey, you know, Coach, as Lepalam gets the pass, another easy miss there para kay Ladis Lepalam. Sumang, hesitation, crossover, off the glass and in.
And the Abra Weavers are really just having so much fun right now. And that fun is founded on defense, you know, making them go the other side of the floor and run the other way.
Roy is turning into Super Sumang here in the fourth quarter for the Abra Weavers. Lepalam looking at his options here. They go to Armenion. Couple of dribbles, pull up, wala. Offensive rebound to Darren Manliguez. Manliguez pulls back, goes back in. Santos, corner, pocket three, wala. Sumang into the front court here for Abra. No numbers. Bounce pass to Kretz Trinidad. And he gets the 2 points.
What a pass. What a pass.
They're loving it here inside the Governor Andres Bernos Memorial Gym. The homegrowns also contributing their share here. Santos missing. You could already feel that Abra, they're trying their best to break this game wide open to avoid any comeback. I think with the time remaining, Coach, it's close to impossible right now for Valenzuela to get back.
Right, it's gonna be tough for Valenzuela to come back.
Trinidad had that taken away like candy from a young boy by Dennis Santos.
But what makes this so difficult for Valenzuela is they had a run earlier. They brought this down to what, 12 and 13 points, but you know, couldn't get over the hump. Dennis is not making his shots. Look at this pass right here, beautifully done. And Trinidad once again, that's another 2 points for the guy, just making himself available for that cut.
Renz Trinidad has 6 points in this game, while Roy Sumang has now 10 assists in this match, Coach. To go with his 7 points and 7 rebounds.
And again, that speaks in volumes of how the homegrowns have performed para dito sa Abra Weavers. Previous games, you've seen, you know, Hian Lee doing his stuff, and now it's Trinidad, and that really just shores up the possibility of these guys hoping to perform real good come to the playoffs.
At saka, Coach, ang ganda ng sitwasyon nila dito. You know, they're playing for the Abra Weavers, their hometown. And they're among veterans here in the league. A lot of ex-PBA players as well.
Right.
A chance for them to really learn at the start of their careers how it is to become a professional. Paulo Hubalde gets his own miss here. Tried to force it up, eventually deciding to just make a pass to Darren Manliguez.
And that's just Paulo refusing to get beat, you know. That guy is a competitor, and he hates losing, and he wants to win as much in a game just like everyone else.
Hubalde steps back for 3. Jumper no good. That was short. Look at Renz Trinidad sky high for that tap.
At saka yung kwento mo nga kanina, Javi, with the story of Trinidad and Lee here for the Abra Weavers. Imagine all the other young Abra bowlers that they're inspiring right now na, uy, pwede pala yun. That I can perform at that level.
Well, that's another homegrown para dito sa Abra Weavers. Jorel Gonzalez, though, airballs that 3-point shot from the left corner against Trinidad, will commit his first personal foul. Under 3 minutes to go here in this game. Alan Martin has now come in. Now Coach Aldrin Morante is emptying his bench.
Looks like it. Looks like it.
Pumasok na rin si Elia Hero.
But nothing to hold your head down on. I mean, the Valenzuela team gave it their all. It really is just tough to be going up against, you know, a very intense and a fast-paced playing team like Abra at home.
And of course, to be short-handed as well,
Oh,
Coach.
short-handed. Laking bagay yung wala si Mike Macion. You know, just other guys that you need on the floor in this kind of game.
Well, now, Coach, that the outcome seems imminent here para dito sa parehong kupunan. Let's talk about a little bit about the team standings in the Northern Division. Obviously, Valenzuela will be going to their 12th loss after winning the last game, a tight one against the Rizal Golden Coolers, while Abra will be rising to 15-7 to overtake Pasay again.
Yeah. Parang binalik lang doon sa dating sitwasyon. And again, it really is about home court advantage. That's why you want to get into the top 4. Those two teams that you mentioned, Abra and Pasay, have not lost at home. And so you want to get in there and get that advantage.
Well, for Quezon City, this is a good thing para sa kanila because this gets them near the Valenzuela Classic. They're currently 10 out of 10 and 13 this year as we go into the final 2 minutes of this one, brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending GameX. Micah Osita is back on the floor and everybody in here trying to anticipate some intense action.
And some of them even cheering his name. Oh, and Lee, the homegrowns. You got to be proud if you're the Abra Weavers on how these guys have performed.
Si Jorel Gonzalez na lang, hindi nakakapuntos for the homegrowns of the Abra Weavers. Alan Martin couldn't get it on the push shot. Trinidad will slow things down here, but he sees Cañete there flashing at the elbow. Paundo takes out Osita. Natumbas si Micah Osita.
That was a good fake, and he acknowledges that. You see, you know, he understands if something was done real well, and he knew that Paundo sold that fake real good, and he bit into it.
Coach, buti na lang marunong mahulog to si Micah Osita.
Oo.
Medyo delikado yun, ha?
Ang laki, di ba? Buti na lang, walang mas maliit na player sa ilalim. Sigurado, dagan ka dun.
Paundo scores his 5th point there on that free throw. There you see Micah Osita playing his first game of the season para dito sa Valenzuela Classic. And now I think everybody here inside the gym is trying to cheer him on to maybe get a basket.
And I think he's got his leg hurt right now.
Yeah, he's limping a bit.
Yeah.
Paundo all the way to the cup.
And he's gonna get subbed. Osita's gonna get subbed here. And Paundo's really just taking advantage of Osita not being able to defend the length of the floor.
Micah Osita will troop back to the Valenzuela bench in favor of J.R. Sumido. Nabitin yung mga tao dito sa oras niya sa sahig.
Oo.
And there you see Paulo Balde talking to Osita on that Valenzuela sideline. Paundo misses on the second free throw. That's a lane violation laban sa Abra.
This is a beaten up Valenzuela team, right? Well, physically, because of all the up and down and all the bumps in the game.
I tell you, that could also characterize the season that they've had. You know, losing players, getting new people to join them, and absorbing these kinds of losses. When you know that you're actually in control of what you did in this game.
That's right. At saka ano sila, isa na sila doon sa mga teams na when the window came up and you see all these players joining teams, they were, oh wow, they're getting this player, wow, they're getting this player. So the expectation, I guess, starts building up. And they were one of those teams.
The biggest names that they were able to acquire in that window. IGP Faundo, look out below. That's two hands for safety by IGP Faundo.
And safety it was. He wanted that to be dunked safely inside and to count those points for him.
That's a rim rattler coming from the former UST Growling Tiger. Anliguez, with 10 seconds left here. Haley Ajero puts the ball on the deck. Misses everything there except the board. Cañete to Jorel Gonzalez, a chance to join in on the party. That is gonna do it. Mintis yun kay Jorel Gonzalez. And the Abra Weavers successfully defend their home court for the third time this year.
And then they successfully get this win. And because their next 3 games, those are big games, so to speak, Javi.
Zamboanga, a former Southern Division champion. And then the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, the defending champions here in the league. And after that, a couple of seasons ago, the champion, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Those 3 teams will be on the schedule of the Abra Weavers right after this one. Coach, your pick for our best player of the game, brought to you by Daily Fantasy. Dito sa Daily Fantasy, hawak mo ang laro. Although there were many great contributors for the Abra Weavers in this game, you had to go with Marquis.
Yeah, and he's just been that guy that stabilized everything for the Weavers. You know, 75% from the field, perfect from the line, 2 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive, 8 total rebounds, 1 assist. He's just been all over the place, apart from all the intangibles that Marquis has given.
84-52 is our final score. This is brought to you by GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. Let's go courtside to Miss Andrea Indicio, who is with our best player of the game, Marquis.
Our daily fantasy best player of this game is no other than Mark Yee. First of all, congratulations, Mark. Kasabay ng magandang simula ng team ay ang pag-arangkada mo early in this game. Ipinakita mo na leading by example talaga ang ginagawa mo at pinakita mo sa kanila na kapag maganda yung simula, most likely maganda rin ang ending.
Yun lang, sinabi lang ni Coach yung talaga na respetuhin namin yung Valenzuela kasi nga talaga hindi nila ibibigay sa amin. Kailangan namin pagtrabahuan talaga. Yun, nagbunga naman yung hirap namin sa ensayo.
Speaking of happy ending, kagaya ng sinabi kanina ni Kong Mayor JB Bernos, that means pupunta ang team sa Caparcan Falls. Dagdag motivation ba yun sa inyo ngayong gabi?
Hindi, yun lang. Talagang every game talaga nagdadasal kami kay Daddy God na manalo. Kasi alam namin hindi rin ganun kadali kunin yung panalo, pero tiwala kami sa kanya, dasal at saka sa suporta rin ni Boss JB at sa pamilya niya, lalo sa taga-Abra na walang asawang suporta sa amin, lalo na sa MPBL po.
Looking at this game, kahit malaki na yung lamang ninyo, nandun pa rin talaga yung intensity at efforts ng mga teammates mo. So anong masasabi mo sa kanila?
Hindi, yun lang. Talagang hanggang matapos, kailangan kaming guard sa depensa and then rebound kasi hindi kami ganun galing talaga sa offense sa depensa kami sa rebound. At saka yung team defense namin talaga napapanalo sa amin.
That's what you did tonight. Meron ka bang gustong batiin o pasalamatan?
Siyempre, unang-una, nagpapasalamat ako kay Daddy God na binigay itong panalo sa amin. Sa asawa ko, kay Keyi, kay asawa ko, Isuri, kay Atasha. Lagi namin pasalamatan din si Pastor Ferdinand Tabaco sa lagi naming Bible study. Napakalaking tulong dahil may basbas lagi ni Daddy God. As Pastor Isidro, Page Intertijero, and then pa mga sponsor po namin, lalo-lalo kay Boss JB Berno, sa pamilya niya po. Maraming salamat po, Boss. At saka sa wife niya po, at sa lahat na taga-Abra, maraming salamat po suporta sa MPBL, lalo na happy birthday po, Director, Second, Kowa, Melanie Batin, Rudy Tan of Burlington. Maraming salamat po. God bless po sa ating lahat.
Alright, thank you so much. Once again, that is Marquis, our best player of the game, brought to you by Daily Fantasy. Dito sa Daily Fantasy, hawak mo ang laro. Back to you, Javi and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. Congratulations to Marky and the rest of the Abra Weavers for collecting a victory here on their home floor for the third time this year. Our games on Monday happening at the Phil-Oil Eco Oil Center in San Juan City. The Mindoro Tamaraos will be going up against the Bacolod City of Smiles at 4 o'clock p.m. At 6 o'clock, it's going to be a battle between Greg Zilla and Justin Baltazar in the matchup between Pampanga Giant Lanterns and the Manila SV Batang Sampaloc SGA. And in our main game, that's also going to be another blockbuster match between the San Juan Knights and the South Cotabato Warriors. Thank you so much for joining us here in Abra, here at the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gym dito sa University of Bangued. For my partner, Coach Mike Perez, for our courtside reporter, Miss Andrea Endiso, and for all the hardworking men and women of our production crew, this has been Javi Palanya saying good night from Bangued, Abra. This has been the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.